Welcome back to The Fame, your go-to source for all things Duggar. We've got a lineup of major headlines today, and trust me, you won't want to miss a second. First up, Jason Duggar is officially off the market. That's right, just 3 months after announcing their courtship, Jason and Maddie Grace are engaged, sending Duggar fans into a frenzy with their whirlwind romance. But that's not all. Next, have you ever wondered if you're pronouncing Jana Duggar's name correctly? You're not alone. We'll break down the global debate on how to say this famous name, and trust us, it's not as straightforward as you think. Plus, we're taking a trip down to the Duggar backyard in northwest Arkansas. Is life in their small-town world really as it seems? We'll dive into what it's really like for the locals living near this ever-growing famous family. And lastly, the big question. Is Jill Duggar truly a certified midwife, or is there more to the story? We'll be exploring the truth behind her certification, the controversies, and what it all means for her today. So buckle up and let's get started with the latest Duggar drama right here on The Fame. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for your daily dose of Duggar news. Jason Duggar, one of the younger members of the famous Duggar family, has been keeping a relatively low profile compared to some of his siblings. But that's all changed now with the announcement of his engagement to Maddie Grace, a young woman from Tennessee who's quickly made her mark on the Duggar fan community. The pair's relationship became public just 3 months ago when they officially debuted their courtship. But now, they've taken things to the next level with a beautiful engagement that has fans and critics alike talking. One of the most interesting tidbits is that Maddie Grace is already using the Duggar last name on social media. Many speculate this could be a move to reserve her Instagram handle in anticipation of becoming Mrs. Duggar, but others find it a bit unusual. It's worth noting that Jessa Duggar did something similar before marrying Ben Seawald, so perhaps this is just another Duggar tradition in the making. As with any Duggar relationship, fans have been quick to speculate about what's really going on behind the scenes. Some have jokingly wondered if Jason and Maddie have reached third base in Duggarland, an expression often used by fans to poke fun at the ultra-conservative family's strict courtship rules. For the Duggar, even something as innocent as a front hug can be considered a big deal before marriage. But who is Maddie Grace, and how did she capture Jason's heart? Maddie hails from a small town in Tennessee, not far from the Kentucky border. She's currently studying education at the University of the Cumberlands, a private Christian university in Kentucky. With her wholesome background and Christian values, it's no surprise she caught the eye of a Duggar boy. As for her age, while exact details are scarce, it's safe to assume she's around the same age as Jason, who is in his early 20s. Now, with Jason and Maddie's engagement, the Duggar family is gearing up for another big wedding. This leaves only a few Duggar boys, like James and Jackson, still unmarried. Fans are eagerly watching to see if any more surprises are in store, especially since the Duggar have a history of keeping certain details under wraps until the last minute. With yet another Duggar wedding on the horizon, fans are left to wonder what this means for the future of the family. Will Jason and Maddie's wedding be a grand affair like his older siblings, or a more intimate event? And could there be more big announcements coming soon from the Duggar clan? As always, we'll keep you updated on all the latest developments right here on The Fame. Let us know in the comments what you think about Jason and Maddie's quick engagement. Do you think it's too soon or just right for Duggar standards? We can't wait to hear your thoughts. Next, we're tackling a topic that sparked some curiosity across the globe. How exactly do you pronounce Jana Duggar's name? If you've ever wondered whether you're saying it right, especially if you're from outside the US, you're not alone. Let's dive into the pronunciation debate surrounding the name Jana, and how it varies depending on where you are in the world. So here's the deal. Jana Duggar, pronounced Jana with a hard J in American English, has sparked quite the discussion online. Many fans outside the US, especially in countries like Australia, the UK, and Germany, are more accustomed to pronouncing Jana as Yarna or Yana. This difference in pronunciation has led some international fans to do a double take when they hear the American version. In the US, the hard J sound in Jana is the default. It's similar to names like Janet or Jana, where the J is pronounced like the J in George, but with a harder edge. This is consistent with how the letter J is typically pronounced in American English. Think of names like Jessica or Jordan. On the other hand, in parts of Europe, particularly Germany, Jana is more commonly pronounced as Jana. The same goes for other regions where languages like Czech or Slovak are spoken, and even in Australia, where the European influence on pronunciation is more prevalent. This has led to some confusion and interesting conversations among Duggar fans worldwide. Another layer to this discussion is the concept of the rhotic R in American English. In the US, when we say Jana, There's no added R sound, unlike in some accents where R sounds might sneak into unexpected places. For example, in certain parts of the U.S. like Arkansas, where the Duggar family is from, you might hear wash instead of wash. But rest assured, Jana remains Jana without any surprise R sounds. To sum it up, while Jana may not be a common name in the U.S., it's not unusual either. The default pronunciation there is with a hard J, which might sound odd to those familiar with the European Jana. However, as with many names, the pronunciation often reflects the linguistic norms of the region. And there you have it. Whether you say Jana, Jana, or Yarna, it's clear that the pronunciation of Jana varies widely depending on where you are. We hope this video clears up some of the confusion and maybe even sparks a little more appreciation for the diversity in how we say names around the world. If you've got your own take on this or know someone with the name Jana, drop a comment below and let us know how they pronounce it. Next, we're taking a closer look at what it's really like to live around the Duggar neck of the woods in northwest Arkansas. We often see the Duggar family portrayed as living in a rural, small-town setting, but is that the reality for those who live nearby? Let's explore the area's evolution, its current vibe, and what locals have to say about sharing their community with the famous family. While the Duggar family may have presented their hometown of Tontatown as a quiet rural retreat on 19 kids and counting, those who live in the surrounding northwest Arkansas, NWA area paint a slightly different picture. Tontatown itself is more of a bedroom community, nestled within a thriving metro area that includes Fayetteville, Springdale, Rogers, and Bentonville. This region has seen tremendous growth over the past few decades, transforming from a more rural setting into a bustling and diverse metropolitan area. One local, who's lived in NWA for over 30 years, shared that while the show made it seem like the Duggar lived in a semi-rural town, the reality is that the northwest Arkansas metro population has swelled to over 600,000. This growth has brought with it a lot of development. Think more restaurants, shopping centers, and even Starbucks popping up next to cow pastures. What was once a series of small towns connected by one-lane bridges is now a thriving hub, home to major corporations like Walmart, Tyson Foods, and J.B. Hunt. Despite this development, some parts of the area still hold on to their rural charm, especially on the outskirts of the metro. Locals describe the region as a blend of suburban comfort and natural beauty, with plenty of hiking and biking trails that draw outdoor enthusiasts from all over. The area is even known as the mountain biking capital of the world, with significant investment in interconnected trail systems. But it's not just about the landscape. There's also a lot of diversity in the people who live here. While some longtime residents may still hold traditional values, the influx of newcomers has brought more progressive attitudes, creating a unique cultural mix. When locals shared their experience of moving to the area with low expectations, only to be pleasantly surprised by how populated and thriving it is, even if it does feel a bit synthetic with all the new development. Interestingly, many locals have had run-ins with the Duggar family over the years. From spotting them at local restaurants to even being invited to one of their weddings, it seems that the Duggar are just another part of the community for those who live here. However, not everyone is a fan. Some residents, especially those from Fayetteville, feel embarrassed that the Duggar are so closely associated with their town. One resident even mentioned how their family is mortified whenever they drive by the Duggar home. So, while the Duggar might have given us a glimpse of rural Arkansas on TV, the reality of living in northwest Arkansas is far more dynamic and complex. With its rapid growth, mix of cultures, and thriving communities, NWA is a place where suburban life meets natural beauty, and where sharing your town with a famous family is just part of the experience. What do you think? Would you want to live near the Duggar, or does the area's rapid development appeal to you more? Finally, we're diving into the question that has sparked quite the conversation online. Is Jill Duggar really a certified midwife, or was her journey into the world of midwifery just another storyline for the cameras? We'll be unpacking the details behind Jill's midwife certification, the legal troubles that surrounded her training, and what it all means for her status as a midwife today. For those who might not know, Jill Duggar once pursued a path to becoming a midwife, a career that initially seemed to align with her upbringing and interest in maternal health. However, the journey she took to achieve this title has been shrouded in controversy and uncertainty. Jill chose the route of a licensed direct entry midwife, LDM, which involves an apprenticeship under an established midwife rather than going through the rigorous education required for a certified nurse midwife. CNM, who typically has a master's degree and extensive experience as a labor and delivery nurse. Jill apprenticed under Vanessa Gorin, a midwife whose career took a serious hit after she faced legal repercussions. Vanessa lost her license in Arkansas due to her handling of a case where a baby showed signs of distress and she failed to call for emergency services. This incident negatively impacted Jill's training and certification, casting doubt on the legitimacy of her midwifery credentials. In the U.S., the title of midwife isn't always a protected or standardized term, which means there's a wide range of training and qualifications that can be associated with it. While certified nurse midwives are highly trained professionals, other forms of midwifery, like the one Jill pursued, can vary greatly in terms of expertise and legality. Given the controversy around her mentor and the subsequent legal issues, many now question whether Jill's title as a midwife holds any real weight. Fans and critics alike have been vocal about this topic, with some comparing Jill's training to what one might expect in the 1800s rather than modern times. The skepticism is fueled by the fact that Jill hasn't shown much public interest in midwifery since her training, leading many to believe that she may have abandoned the practice altogether. So where does that leave Jill Duggar today? It seems that her midwifery journey was more of a short-lived chapter rather than a lifelong calling. While she may have held the title of midwife at one point, the controversies surrounding her training and the legal issues of her mentor have certainly cast a shadow over her qualifications. Whether Jill will ever return to midwifery remains to be seen, but for now it looks like she's focused more on her own family rather than delivering babies for others. Let us know in the comments what you think. Was Jill's midwifery path legitimate, or just another Duggar storyline for the cameras? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more updates from the fame.